my tits. Sorry, my bra popped open.
Tits good?
My tits are great.
Alright. Boobs and Horror Nights?
Oh.
Welcome to the Horror Fiends. I am your certified horror dad, Kyle Beatty, and this is my lovely wife, Amber. With all the buzz going around on Twitter and other social media about Halloween Horror Nights with their mysterious video just dropping that we decoded in my previous video, there is a speculation map that has dropped by Horror Night Nightmares, a Twitter devoted to getting the inside scoop on everything Horror Nights before the announcements are dropped. The event grows closer every day with a chance of an announcement on the horizon, so I wanted to dive into the spec map with my wife, who is an all-knowing Horror Nights genius, to see what all this means. So let's dive into this map. So when you enter the park, it seems like you're first going to come up on the first house that is speculated. It seems like that is going to be Demon Slayer, based on the anime that I have not seen because I'm not an anime person. So we don't personally think that Demon Slayer is going to be a house here. I just do not see them doing an anime house. It's never been done before. I mean, if they did do it, it would be cool. I just feel like I don't know much about Demon Slayer. I've never seen the anime. You have. You have, but I've never seen it. If we're gonna do like an anime house, I know there's that artist, I don't know the name of, but there's that artist that does like those drawings of
the spooky things.
Yes,
like people dying and stuff.
Yeah, that would be cool, I think, in a house. But I don't know much about Demon Slayer. Does it seem like it would be something that is cool in a house with you, watching it?
Yeah. Demon Slayer has a lot of really cool like villains that are like monster-esque, and me being me, I appreciate the like pretty but spooky, and that's a lot of what Demon Slayer is. But I just really don't think that that's what they're doing. Obviously, we've heard from other people that Demon Slayer is a code for something else.
So what do we think it's a code for? Like, what do we want to be there? Like, if it's I feel like it has something maybe to do with demons then, if it's like a code name?
I have heard from some of the chats and stuff that I'm in that it's code for Evil Dead. I guess I could see why like Demon Slayer would be a code for Evil Dead, but I mean, obviously I don't know how true that is, considering like nothing is official yet.
Evil Dead would be cool. Let's predict Evil Dead is going to be there. Do we think Evil Dead Rise or just Evil Dead? I feel like if they're gonna do Evil Dead, they'll probably stick to the original like they usually do with their houses.
Well, they have to have Ash in there, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like whenever when they did like the Halloween house and stuff, they always just did like Halloween. Like it was never like Halloween Kills or like Halloween Ends or whatever. It was just Halloween, the original 1978. So it wasn't like anything. So it'll probably be, if it is Evil Dead, then it could be 1981 Evil Dead. 1981 Evil Dead. But if we keep going, we go to an unknown scare zone. Seems like a lot of the scare zone on this map are unknown right now. There's not enough, I guess, information out there for a actual speculation yet. So we don't know what that is. Hopefully it's something cool. But then we're gonna get to the house, The Exorcist Believer, based on the new Exorcist movie that is coming out in October. So I think Exorcist would be cool. I did see a video, I think it was another YouTuber about this spec map, about it might be weird to do a new Exorcist movie just based on the fact that it's going to spoil everything, because Horror Nights happens in September, the beginning of September is when it starts, so I feel like you will spoil your October movie if you do that, but if they do the original Exorcist, I feel like that could be fine. I mean, they've done it before.
You said my thoughts exactly, so...
Well, there you go. So this looks like it's going to be where Spirits of the Coven was last year and where Bride of Frankenstein was in 30. It looks like if you keep going forward, you're going to get to Jimmy Fallon's area right before you get to the New York area and the Tribute Store, and we already know this one. This one is Chucky. It already has been confirmed and announced back in last year, actually.
Like right at the end of Horror Nights.
Yeah, I think it was Halloween last year. Yeah. Well, maybe.
All I know is it was like right after.
It was when we were at Horror Nights. I remember we were in a queue line for Halloween.
And I was like, what the hell is going on?
Was it? Yeah, it was a queue line for Halloween. Yeah, I remember exactly where we were. We were in between two sound stages, and we had the Weeknd music video playing. And yeah, we got the Twitter notification that they announced a freaking house in the middle of Horror Nights. So I believe this Chucky is not based on Child's Play. This is based on the series. I don't know if it's like both seasons of the series, but I know it's it's the series that has been confirmed. So that will be cool. That's going to be where Texas Chainsaw was in 30 and where Halloween was last year. So that's going to be in a soundstage then.
Yes.
Okay, so that'll be cool. I'm very interested to see little Chuckies running around. I hope it's actual like characters, doing Chucky and Tiffany or whatever, and Glenda and all that, and not puppets, because I feel like that'd be cool. Because I know they did the Scare Zone where Chucky like insulted you in 25 or 26, something like that, and it was a puppet. But it'd be cool if you had like kind of like how Tooth Fairy was, and you have like little tiny people. All right, so if you keep going forward here, you're going to get to the first original. I don't know why Horror Nights Nightmares put symbols instead of house names, but we're roll with it. What do we think this is?
Obviously I'm getting like Salem witch trials vibes, just because it's like an old little village, and then like the pentagram. That's about all I can assume from it.
Right.
I've seen a lot of like people talking about like a blood ritual type vibe, but I don't really know where that's coming from. It's just obviously speculation between a bunch of group chats that I'm in. So
Salem Witch Trials would be cool. I feel like that would be a really cool concept. I mean, we've gotten kind of like Coven and stuff, Spirits of the Coven and stuff, so we've had witches before.
Yeah. And I always enjoy the witch houses, and obviously I liked Spirits of the Coven last year because I just like the witchy stuff, but a lot of people didn't like it, so maybe they're trying to get a little redemption there for like a witch house. But
okay, so Salem Witch Trials, that would be cool. So the next one looks like it's going to be where Dead Man's Pier was last year, and this looks like honestly Game of fucking Thrones, the house or some shit. I don't know what this is. It is a castle with a dragon.
I have absolutely no idea. I've heard the Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I don't think that's actually a concept they're going with. That's just what it looks like. I've heard Dungeons and Dragons.
Again, I don't think so.
Don't think that's where it's going. Maybe just kind of like medieval battle type something, because they do tend to do a lot of like...
Yeah, they did do Nightingales, which was like I think it was like underneath a gladiator pit, and it was like people eating body parts and something like that. So it might be another one of that, like another Nightingale's house, possibly, maybe.
Yeah, I am really curious about the dragon though.
Yeah, are we gonna get like a dragon?
A dragon in a house.
Like a dragon puppet or something, kind of like how Chupacabra and stuff was, like an animatronic or something.
I would just be hyped to have like dragons in the house.
That would be pretty cool. Or like maybe like a giant dragon, kind of like how like the Beetlejuice head was in Beetlejuice, like that big, or like the snake, the sandworm.
Yeah.
I mean, based on this location, I mean, I don't know if all the locations are accurate, because I've seen different things in the Discord I am a part of where it's like the locations on the spec map aren't accurate at all.
Yeah.
If these two are accurate, that means they're both in sound stages, which means they can do a lot. Especially with a dragon.
Yeah.
Like they can do, especially with like Dead Man's Pier soundstage, they built a crap ton of stuff in there.
The coolest boat you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, so they could definitely build some dragon or something. That would be cool. Alright, so going into the New York Scare Zone and the tribute store, that it looks like they're putting the Last of Us Scare Zone in there. That's one thing I wanted to look at, because like the Last of Us Scare Zone's in New York, but they have the Last of Us house not near there at all, which doesn't make sense, which makes me believe that these locations aren't accurate, because why would you have the Last of Us Scare Zone not connected to the house, you know? Why would you not walk out of the Last of Us house and walk into the Scare Zone?
I mean, if like this does have some accuracy to it, the only thing I can think is like maybe they're trying to split the traffic, because I do feel like Last of Us will be like a big thing, but I don't know if they're really thinking that deep about it. It's probably just not accurate with locations.
I did want to note on this does say Naughty Dog The Last of Us, which makes me think this is the game. Which, if it's the game, they have so much to work with, dude. Like, obviously the show has so much they could work with, but the game is, I mean, it's a 10-hour longer game, and it's got a crap ton they could use. So I hope they are doing, like, I wonder if the Last of Us Scare Zone's gonna work, because, like, I don't know, it might look like Zombieland, because Zombieland was in New York, so maybe they're going like that vibes. That would be cool. I feel like we haven't gotten something big in that. I mean, we've gotten like the like original Scare Zones and stuff, but we haven't gotten like a huge like set or anything, I feel like, in the Scare Zones, in that Scare Zone in a while.
You say, as last year there was literally an entire parade of float.
Then we go past
Fast and Furious.
So this is a top secret. And this one is not an original. This is a top secret IP I'm guessing this is the headlining IP. And if it is the headlining IP, I don't think it's in Fast and Furious. Just for the simple fact, if you're doing Stranger Things, you're not going to put that in the Fast and Furious thing. It's too small. It's too, claustrophobic, I guess. Confined, yes.
That's the word.
Yes. Because if you're going to do, like, Vecna and Max racing in the air and Eddie on his trailer or something doing his guitar thing, I don't think it's going to be there. I feel like it's going to be a soundstage.
But do you really think it's going to be Stranger Things?
No and yes. I don't know what else I've heard that it could be.
The only other thing I have heard, which again, these both I'm like, highly unlikely, but it has to be something pretty serious. But I've also heard Scream being a possibility. Because they're all like, oh, maybe they're keeping it top secret because they don't want the rights to fall through last minute and everybody be so excited for it. And then they'll have it again.
That could be true.
But those are really the only two things I've really considered for that.
Oh, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights
at Freddy's I feel like could work in Fast and Furious if it is there, because Five Nights at Freddy's, the whole concept is you're in one room the entire time. So it kind of be like Black Phone, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
Where you're just in one location. But I don't think it's Five Nights at Freddy's. Like I said with the Exorcist house, I don't think they're gonna do a house based on something that's coming out a month after the event starts, because then you're spoiling your whole movie. Unless they do it based on the video game that's been out forever, but
then with that, like, I can't see them doing 2 video game based houses in the same year.
That is very true. So I feel like it is going to be Stranger Things, just for the simple fact it is so top secret that, I mean, even the insider here making the map isn't telling us what it is.
Yeah.
So, like, it could be something that big. I don't think it's Scream, just for the simple fact they tried to do Scream before in 25. I mean, I might be completely wrong. They might announce
I mean, that'd be a great
Scream.
Surprise.
Yeah, no, that'd be really great. Again, I hope they wouldn't do it in Fast and Furious, because I feel like that's a soundstage house. If you do Scream, you could create the Stu's house and, you know, Sydney's house and everything, and you can't do that in such a small space like Fast and Furious. I don't think it's gonna be Scream, just because you have to get 2 separate licenses for it. You got to get the Fun World license and you got to get the license to the movie if you are using the movie characters. I mean, I can't really think of anything that would be that bigger than, you know, Exorcist or Chucky, that it has, or even the Last of Us is huge for them to be like, it's top secret, it's an IP. Yeah. Like, the only thing that's bigger than that is Stranger Things.
That's really.
So I mean, I kind of have to go Stranger Things.
As
like,
much as it's always been, oh, we'll never have Stranger Things again. It's kind of like, what else could it be?
So it could be Stranger Things. Well, I guess we'll see if they announce Stranger Things, and we'll see if we're right. So then we go through another unknown scare zone, which is the San Francisco scare zone. That's the scare zone I worked in when I was in Crypt TV. But then we come across Nightmare Fuel, which is going to be its 3rd time being at Horror Nights in a row. So obviously that's happening. I don't think Nightmare Fuel's not happening.
I think I would sob violently if they got rid of Nightmare Fuel.
Yeah, I enjoy Nightmare Fuel. A lot of people didn't like Nightmare Fuel, I guess, last year, because it was the same thing.
Too similar.
I liked it. Nightmare Fuel's always cool. I mean, I enjoy performers and what they're doing. Just with my theater background that I've had. I mean, these people doing aerialist stuff and adding the Living Dead girl and all that last year and stuff. I mean, it's always cool. I like Nightmare Fuel, and it's always packed, so they're always going to keep doing Nightmare Fuel, even if fans don't like it. Everyone else does, you know? But then we come across Bug's entrance. So I don't know if we're going to go that same route and go across the park again to get to a tent, or if this is going to be like scary and it's not going to actually be right there. That looks like a tent with fog behind it, and I kind of already have guessed what this is, but what do you...
I know we both probably agree with the whole Oddfellow theory.
Yeah, the Oddfellow Carnival, where Jack originated. I feel like icon this year after, you know, getting shit on in the comments of my last video. I think this is Dr. Oddfellow or Mr. Oddfellow. Doctor? Okay, so Dr. Oddfellow's Carnival of Fear or Fear House, whatever it is, where Jack originated. And I think Dr. Oddfellow is going to be the icon of this year. So hopefully in this house we get some Jack. I know
maybe
a lot of people...
Chance?
Yeah, some chance or something. I know a lot of people are tired of Jack. I'm not one of those people. I always enjoy when Jack's part of the event. I like Jack. He's my favorite icon out of all of them. So any chance I can see Jack and, you know, just see... what's his face? Forgot his name. Play him. is always fun. What's his fucking name?
I know that his last name is. No, I don't know his last name.
Fuck it. You know who you are.
Is his last? I think his last name's Keaton.
Yes. Fuck.
No, not Michael.
No, that's
Not
Beetlejuice.
Michael Keaton. This is gonna drive me crazy. I'm so sorry if this screws up your video when you're editing, but I have to know now.
I do hope we get Jack. I hope it's not just like, you know, like his box or something in the house. I hope we actually get some physical characters playing Jack. If it's going to be a backstory about him, I feel like that would be really cool. And if you're going for this whole circus theme, it makes me wonder what these scare zones are actually going to be, if they're all going to be connected, kind of like Pumpkin Lords was, where it's like he was the root of all these scare zones and all this stuff. So I don't know if that's going to be a thing. If so, who knows? We might get Icon Scare Zone, possibly. Who knows? But this house is, I definitely think this is going to be the Icon house, the Dr. Oddfellow, Jack, maybe Chance, you know, house. So if you keep going towards...
Next to the Men in Black
Okay.
store.
Oh, yes,
and the
okay.
Coke Freestyle.
So this is where Wicked Growth and what was that
Puppet
other
Theater.
house? Puppet Theater, and then Descendants last year, and...
I think Descendants was the only one with an entrance over there last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then over there we have a devil emoji. From what we've heard, it seems like it is a house based on, I guess, it's an original house, so it's not based off of a movie. A lot of people saying it's based off of like a movie, but it says it's an original.
Maybe inspired by a movie.
Apparently an original based off of a movie about a man that sells his soul down in the South. I don't know if it's Louisiana or Georgia, but basically Devil Went Down to Georgia, the song, in a house. I hope they play it, even if it's not about specifically that song, you know. It's a missed opportunity if you don't play that in the queue or in the house somewhere. I don't know. But it seems like it's someone that sold their soul to the devil in a competition, I guess. A music competition, right? I don't know.
I don't know, but
Something
I
like
just
that.
know that it's just kind of supposed to have that like bluesy, like
Yeah.
I don't want to say speakeasy vibe because that's not at all what it is, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, like the 20s jazz, Louisiana kind of vibe with the devil. Which I think is going to be a cool house, and it's probably going to have cool costumes. Because that kind of stuff, like Case Files and the Kitty Cat Club, that kind of vibe, if that's what they're kind of going for, that would be cool. Or they'll surprise us and it's a Kitty Cat Club house.
Honestly, would sell my soul for that.
Maybe this could connect to that kind of world, though. Maybe Boris's world, if it's set in that time. Maybe it's another bar or a club, because I know on the original Spec Mac it was Devil Dogs, which was a Slaughter Cinema portion, which was devil bikers in a bar.
Yeah.
So that could connect to the Kitty Cat Club. Who knows? But next to it is going to be probably the busiest house, unless Stranger Things is there. The Last of Us. This is probably my most anticipated house. Just because I want to see that in a freaking haunted house, dude. That's gonna be see Joel and Ellie and like clickers and stuff in the house.
And Joel.
Yes. Pedro Pascal all over. Just pictures of Pedro Pascal all over the walls. That's all it is. You just walk through that.
It's just a shrine.
Yeah, it's just a shrine to Pedro Pascal. But again, I think this is the game and not the show, because it says Naughty Dog. It doesn't say HBO. There's a lot of good houses this year, if all of this speculation is correct, and if we get Stranger Things as well. There's some good houses like Chucky and The Exorcist and stuff. These are all really good houses, you know?
Probably gonna be a very busy year if this
Yeah.
is all
Very busy year.
happening.
Just simply just because of The Last of Us, just based on the show.
Yeah.
'Cause that thing is huge, so that's gonna bring a lot of people. But then we go over to Kids Zone, which is currently closed, so I don't know if they're using Kids Zone anymore. I know there's an entrance to ET that you were talking about.
Yeah, they have like a weird entrance, like the actual ET, like regular entrance is blocked off and they like enter from the side or something. So maybe they'll do something like that for the house.
And this one is Universal Studios Monsters Paris. On the original spec map, it was Legends Collide House with Phantom and Dracula, but now it just says Paris. I don't know if that still means the same thing.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not that well versed on Phantom. I know more about Dracula, which is just Transylvania. I don't know if Phantom is based in Paris.
I've seen a lot of people be like, oh, like Monsters Paris, it's for sure Phantom, so...
Okay,
again,
so he
I
might
don't
be
really know
based
anything about
in
him, but-
Paris. I know more of the musical than I guess the actual monster movie. So it could just be a Phantom of the Opera House, but I don't know. I feel like Legends Collide has done so well with them keep reusing it, or they keep doing iterations on Universal monsters like Bride of Frankenstein and stuff. So if it is just Phantom, I don't think it's just going to be like classic Phantom of the Opera. I feel like it's going to be a take on a different version. Like it's going to be steampunk Phantom, kind of like how Bride was, or it's going to be Legends Collide with Phantom and Drag. But then we're going to go up from that house into Holidays, which is I guess it was a scare zone in Hollywood before?
I was a house in Hollywood.
Was it a house?
I think so.
And it was, just Evil Holidays?
Yeah, because everybody's been talking about how they're not sure how they would pull that off in a zone.
Oh, okay.
Because of the fact that there are so many holidays that were in it, however it was done in Hollywood.
And this is in Central Park here. So this is a very tiny zone.
Small area.
Which, I mean, they've done really cool things in Central Park. They did Trick or Treat in Central Park, and they built houses in Central Park. So, I mean, it's possible, but it could be congested just depending on how many people come this year. That could be a very congested area. But that is basically, like, just Evil Holidays. Like, there's nothing more to that, I guess.
As far as I know, that's really all it is.
Okay, well, then we get to another show, just called Show, right now. I hear that the Lagoon is still down from last year. They still haven't fixed it. So I don't know if this is the Lagoon show, or if they're going the old-fashioned route and setting up a stage with, I think, the Academy of Villains they used to do that with. They used to set up, there used to be a stage, I don't remember where it was. I don't think it was it there?
I have never been a year that they've had anything other than the Lagoon show in that area, but I do know that recently I saw a video where there was, like, if across from Mel's, like, a constructed stage.
Oh, was there? Which makes me wonder if they're going to do that just for traffic reasons. Because that's a huge stage and they're going to have an audience with that. But they might be actually fixing the Lagoon. It might just be Lagoon show again. Because it is still in that area where the Lagoon shows usually are. So that is everything we know on the speculation map so far, and everything we can kind of guess and predict maybe based on these symbols. We'll see whenever Horror Nights decides to announce something. If you like horror, whether that is in media, movies, theme parks like this, music, etc., make sure you subscribe down below and hit that bell notification icon so you are always notified when we post. Post a lot of horror shorts here and long form content, so if you're a fan of like Dead by Daylight or going behind the screens of your favorite horror movies, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you want to follow me down below on Instagram, I post a lot of horror content and pictures of my lovely wife. If that's something you are interested in, make sure you leave a follow down below, and I will also leave Amber's Instagram down below as well. She does a lot of cool things on there, makes mostly pictures of herself. But besides that, that is it for us, and we will see you in the morgue.